Hey guys, Mr. B here with the next few questions from the review. Let's take a look at 17. I believe we finished up 16 last time. So 17. The list shows the number of licenses issued every year to lobster boats in Massachusetts for a 5-year period. So over 5 years, you got 551, 554, 529, 534, 530. What's the range of these data? Range is the difference between the highest and the lowest. We learned this in class today. It is very easy. Rewrite your list, least to greatest. Take your highest, subtract your lowest. The answer is 25. Range is the difference between the highest and the lowest. Number 18. Holly bought a magazine subscription for a year. She paid $27. She paid $27 for the whole year. Holly wanted to find the price of P, or she wanted to find the price, P, of the subscription each month. Well, there's 12 months in a year. She created the model shown below to help find this price. So she paid $27 for all 12 months. So the total, when you add up all 12 months, has to be 27. So common sense says it can't be 39, 324, or 22, because if each one of these is $39, it's going to be way more than 27. If each one of these is $324, it's going to be way more. $22.50, it's all going to be way more. So that question can be answered with common sense. You don't even have to divide it, but what it's telling you to do is to take 27 and divide it by 12 months and see what you get. So as a fraction, not a lot of my students are going to do it as a fraction, but 27 over 12 is 27 divided by 12. That simplifies to 9/4. 9 divided by 4 is 2.25. Most kids are just going to take the 27 yearly rate and divide it by 12 months, which is also 2.25. So easy question to do. This says every other price per month is larger than the 27. That's actually wrong. $22.50 is not larger than 27, but it's large enough that if you start adding $22.50 over and over and over and over and over again, you're going to go over 27 by the time you get to the second month. So this is not 100% accurate, but you're still able to solve that question with common sense. Please use common sense and be reading. It can save you some time. Number 19, putting rational numbers in order. Alyssa will correctly label the numbers 48.4, 48.5, 48.09, and 48 3/5 on the number line below. Which number will be located closest to 49? This is super easy. 48.5 is 48.5. You can look at this number line and figure out where half is. Here's 48, here's 49, 48.5 has to be in the middle. So that one's easy to locate. 48.4 is easy to locate, because if this is 48.5 and this is 48.5, then this has to be 48.1, 48.2, 48.3, 48.4. So 48.4 is really easy to locate. At least you know it's less than 48.5. And 48 3/5 is easy to locate. You don't even have to change it to a decimal. 3/5, okay? What's half of 5? 2.5 is half of 5. So 48 and 2.5 out of 5 would be equal to 48.5. You have more than half, so you have 48 and more than half. So 48 3/5 is going to be somewhere past 48.5, moving towards 49. So 48 3/5 is going to be closer to 49 than anything else. But if you need to change it to a decimal, 3 over 5 is 3 divided by 5. 3 divided by 5 is 0.6. So 48 3/5 is equal to 48.6, which is here. It's the closest one to 49 compared to the other ones. So 48 3/5 closer to 49. Number 20. Which statement describes the relationship between x and y in these two equations? Well, remember that the equals sign means the word is. So this is saying y is 2 times x. This one is saying y is x plus 2 or 2 more. So you can either say y is x plus 2 or you can say y is 2 more than x. So when you look at these questions, just match it up. In F, it says in y equals 2x, the value of y is 2 more than the value of x. No, 2x is 2 times x. So it's 2 times the value of x, so that makes it wrong. This one says in y equals x plus 2, the value of x is twice. No, twice is 2 times. This is plus 2, not 2 times. So it's 2 more. So those are switched around. So F is wrong. In this one, y equals 2x, and in y equals 2x, and in y equals x plus 2, the value of y is 2 more than the value of x. That's true, but not for both of them. Okay? It's only 2 more for this expression. And that's what they did in H. They said that in both expressions, the value of y is twice. No, in this expression, it's twice. In this expression, it's 2 more. So it's not true for both. So J is the right answer. In y equals 2x, the value of y is twice, 2 times, the value of x. 2 times x is y. And in y equals x plus 2, the value of y is 2 more, plus 2, 2 more. So J is the answer that you want. Let's look at 21. The table shows the monthly fees for checking accounts at 2 banks. We have not talked about financial literacy yet. We haven't taught this. You can still figure it out. Checking account fees at 2 banks. Bank Y, they charge you 1% of whatever you got in there. So the fee is 1% of whatever you got in the bank. Bank Z charges $5 no matter what you have in the bank. Okay? So which statement is best supported by the information in the table? All right. The fee at Bank Y will always be less than the fee at Bank Z. No. This fee will be less as long as the amount of money you have in there is less than $500, okay? Because 1% of any number means you move the decimal left twice. So if you got $500 and you move the decimal left twice, that's a 1% fee. That's equal to $5. 1% of 500 is $5. So if you have less than $500 in there, then your fee is going to be less than $5, which is less than that. Same thing almost with this one, but in the other way. The fee at Bank Y will always be more. No. If you have more than $500, like 501, 1% of more than $500 is more than $5, so your fee would be more if you had more than $500 in this bank. The fee at Bank Y will be more than the fee at Bank Z only when a customer's balance is more than $500. That's true. When you go over $500, 1% of more than $500 is more than $5. So at that point, Y would have a bigger fee. All right, so C is what you want. D says the fee at Bank Y will be more than the fee at Bank Z when the balance is less than $500. No, it won't be more. It'll be less. Because once this balance in this bank is less than $500, the fee is less than $5. So we haven't taught that yet, but we have talked about 1% of a number. So this is something I feel like you should be able to do. Number 22, as a part of a survey, 300 girls were asked to name their favorite sport. The results showed that 12 of the girls named bowling as their favorite sport. What percentage of the girls in the survey named bowling as their favorite sport? So 12 out of 300. 12 girls out of 300 chose bowling. 12 out of 300. That's a very small amount out of 300, so it's got to be a very small percent. Percents are out of 100, so 12 out of 300. We can get this to 100 easily. Divide 300 by 3 and you get 100. Divide 12 by 3 and you get 4. Anything over 100 is a percent. 4 out of 100 is equal to 12 out of 300, which is 4%. Here's a little graphic to see. Here's 0, here's 300. Half of that is 50%, and half of 300 is 150. Half of that is 75, which is 25. And you're talking about 12. 12 is going to be way down here close to 0. So you're way under 25%. So you can kind of use that information to eliminate some of those choices to make your decision. But using equivalent fractions will tell you exactly what the percentage is. You can also take 12 and divide it by 300. So you could just literally take 12 and divide it by 300. But I don't want to do that. I would rather just look at my fractions and do it that way. Either way, you'll get the same answer. All right, 23. A county with an area of 425 square miles has a population of 9,350 residents. Which rate best represents the relationship between the population of the county and the area of the county? So they're saying 425 square miles. That's huge. That's a big area. That means a mile this way and a mile this way. That's a gigantic square, a square mile. And you don't have just one of them, you got 425 of them. And inside of that giant area of 425 square miles, you got 9,350 people living in that. So that's not a lot of people. If you want to know for comparison, like the cities of Hearst, Euless, and Bedford all have about 35,000 people that live in them. So you're talking about a population that's way less than Hearst, or way less than Euless, or way less than Bedford. It's a small amount of people. Think about what this says. This is another common sense question, okay? 22 square miles per resident. That's a lot of land for one person, per resident, one resident. 22 square miles for one person? It doesn't really make much sense. This one says 9,350 residents per square mile. That's all 9,350 living in 1 square mile. No, it told you up here all 9,350 were living in 425 square miles. So there's no way that can be right. This one down here, D, says 425 square miles per resident. That's an insane amount of land for one person. That's even more than 22 square miles per person. That's a ridiculous answer. But if you take your original ratio of 9,350 and divide it by 425 square miles, you're going to get 22 residents per square mile, okay? And if you don't know how many times 425 goes into 9,350, then you get over there and you start plugging in numbers and playing around until you figure out that it's 22, okay? So common sense could have answered that question without doing any math, okay? All right, number 24. The table shows the relationship between D, the amount of money Alice has at the beginning of each day, and W, the amount she has after riding the bus to work. So these are the D values. She has this much, she rides the bus, and now she's got a little bit less. Same thing, she had this much, she rides the bus, she's got a little bit less. So take that starting amount and then see what she has when she's done, and you're going to realize, oh, she spent $1.25 right here. She spent $1.25 right here, because when I subtracted, that's what I got. So it looks like I'm taking the D value, subtracting $1.25, and getting the answer of whatever's on the W side. And so that's what it is. It's not listed that way over here, so we flip the equation around. If D minus 1.25 equals W, then W equals D minus 1.25. So we just flip the equation around, okay? All right, that gets you to number 24. That's where I'm stopping today. Hopefully you are studying your tail off and you are going to be ready for this test. Thanks a lot. We'll see you tomorrow.